Please remain standing. We're pleased to have Patricia Potwine with us today. Ms. Potwine will sign the ceremony for the benefit of the hearing impaired. Reverend John Wheeler will deliver the invocation.
Almighty and all-knowing God, we recognize you as the fountain of all wisdom, and that is why we've come to a place such as this, where we can drink deeply and quench the thirst of our minds. Continue always to enlighten those who teach and those who learn, and all others who help make it possible. So crown with success our exploration for truth in the forest of knowledge, and especially honor these graduates who through earnest endeavor stand before us this morning to receive the laurels of accomplishment. We invoke your blessings upon them and their families, and upon all that we do on this memorable occasion. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Embry-Riddle's Spring 1998 graduation ceremony. It is a great pleasure to welcome the families and friends of the graduates, community friends, and our distinguished guests to the most important and the most anticipated event on our academic calendar, graduation. Before we begin, I would like to announce that we have a photography area available behind the barricade on my right so that families may photograph the students. Please come up, take your pictures, and as a courtesy to others, return to your seats so that everyone may have an opportunity. Please do not stand in the aisles to take pictures, as it blocks the view of others. Now I'm pleased to introduce the president of Embry-Riddle, Stephen Sliwa. President Sliwa.
Jane Garvey assumed the duties of her current position as Administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration on August 4th, 1997. Although she is the 14th person to hold this position, she is the first ever to have been confirmed to a 5-year term by the Senate. As Administrator to the organization, Ms. Garvey is responsible for managing all aspects of the FAA. The 48,000-person agency, with its worldwide impact and presence, regulates and oversees aviation safety and security, conducts cutting-edge research and development, and operates the world's largest air traffic control system. Ms. Garvey brings with her to the position an outstanding career in public service and extensive administrative experience. Prior to joining the FAA, she served as Deputy Administrator to the Federal Highway Administration for 4 years before being appointed that agency's acting administrator. The Highway Administration, also a division of the U.S. Department of Transportation, has an annual budget of $20 billion and works in conjunction with individual states to maintain the safety and efficiency of the nation's systems of roads and bridges. Ms. Garvey's exceptional leadership of the Highway Administration's innovative financing initiative demonstrates one example of her creativity. The program, which resulted in an investment of more than $4 billion in transportation in more than 30 states, brought about the successful completion of projects which in many cases would not have been built otherwise. Previously, Ms. Garvey served as Director of Logan International Airport in Boston, one of the nation's busiest airports. Prior to that, she served as Associate Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Public Works, directing construction activities and developing environmental initiatives before becoming that department's commissioner. Jane Garvey holds degrees from Mount St. Mary College and Mount Holyoke College and has participated in the fellowship program for public leaders at Harvard University. please join me in welcoming Ms. Jane Garvey to our campus.
Well, thank you very much. You all look wonderful. Just terrific. Look great. President Sliwa, Reverend Wheeler, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, distinguished guests, parents, and members of the graduating class of 1998. Thank you very much for inviting me to be with you this morning. I know this is a milestone in your life, an important milestone, and I feel honored to be here with you. I want to tell you, I think I know exactly how you feel today. I remember my own graduation. In the year, you can feel the same sense of accomplishment, the same sense of excitement, and the most challenging, chilling feeling of all, the absolute fear that the commencement speech would never end. As a former governor liked to say, commencement speakers should think of themselves as the body at an old-fashioned Irish wake. They need you in order to have the party, but nobody expects you to say much. Albert Einstein gave one of the shortest graduation speeches ever when he said, "I do not have any particular thoughts to express today, so I simply want to wish you all success in the future." And then he sat down. Well, I'm going to tell you, I got a few thoughts to share with you today. I got a few thoughts. And I have to tell you, for me personally, this is particularly nice because I have two children just about your ages. And they have never, ever sat to listen to what I had to say. In fact, my last experience with my son, Matt, I arrived unannounced in Matthew's dorm room just a couple of months ago. Hey, what did I know? And I walked in and Matthew had the biggest pyramid of beer cans I've ever seen in my life. Matt took one look at his mom, one look at the pyramid, and said, "Mom, I don't know if I've got a chance to tell you this, but this has been named the recycling center for the campus." Matt. So all I'm going to ask of the graduates today is if you ever run into Kelly Garvey or Matthew Garvey, we remember one thing I said and tell them, especially Matt. Well, let me say at the outset, I do want to tell you how very excited I am for each and every one of you to be entering this glorious profession. This glorious profession at this point in time, at the cusp of the 21st century, and to be entering this profession from the world's premier aviation, aerospace, and aviation university. Embry-Riddle has achieved this reputation for education excellence in one key way, and that is through its unwavering focus on you, the most important resource in aviation, our human resources. Today, as you graduate, you join an outstanding tradition of global leadership in aviation and aerospace. You join the ranks of U.S. Air Force pilot Captain Scott O'Grady, astronaut Lieutenant Commander Susan Still, and the more than 500 Embry-Riddle graduates who are working at the FAA, graduates whose hundreds of decisions on a daily basis are making a difference and shaping the agenda in aviation and aerospace. This industry, this profession, needs the best and the brightest. We need you. We've never needed you more. You all know that aviation plays a vital role in our nation and for the world's growing and increasingly interdependent economy. I like the way the Secretary of Transportation, Rodney Slater, characterizes the important role of aviation. He says that aviation will be to the 21st century what the interstate highway system has been to this century. That's a powerful statement, a powerful image. It suggests that transportation is the tie that binds. It suggests that transportation provides the link with family, with friends, with jobs, everything that makes life worthwhile, everything that makes life satisfying. Our nation was built on transportation, from the rivers and the canals to the rails and highways. Transportation has always performed an essential role in our economy, an essential role in our society. Today, the runway replaces Main Street as the most important thoroughfare in the global village. 600 million people flew on U.S. airlines last year. That number will climb to a staggering 1 billion people a year, 12 years from now. Today, nearly 1/2 of all the world trade is conducted by air. Every day, more and more cargo moves by air. Tomorrow, even more people and cargo will fly across America and around the globe as the world trade expands, as barriers fall, and as we take our place on the global stage. Aviation is building the global economy, and you are the architects. Today, we stand on the threshold of the second century of aviation. The 100th anniversary of powered flight is little more than 5 years away. Your careers, your contributions will be part of that second century of aviation. You're going to see things that we can only dream about. You're going to do things that we cannot even imagine. You will discover, you will fulfill the real potential of powered flight. We've come a long way from the Wright Flyer and that sandy stretch at Kitty Hawk, but we've got a long way to go, and you'll be the ones to take us there. But it strikes me that even with the enormous potential ahead, so much about what we do in aviation is still the same as it was for the Wright brothers. Wilbur Wright said, "What is chiefly needed is skill rather than machinery." Yes, we need the skills. We need your skills, but the skills that we need are changing and changing rapidly. We need pilots, but we also need system engineers, software engineers, project managers, and human factors specialists. We need professionals who bring high level of competencies in statistics, in mathematical modeling and economic analysis, in operations research. And we need much more than technical competence. We need innovators, imaginative, skillful professionals. The leaders for aviation's second century must be flexible, they must be receptive to change. It is an extraordinary profession. It's marked by men and women who are passionate about what they do. More than any other profession I've ever seen. Passionate about what they do. But you know that. The graduates from this university, the faculty from this university that I've met, share that same passion. And I hope that passion stays with you all through your life. I also hope that as you move through your career, you'll think about a stint in public service. It is extraordinarily exciting to be in the public arena. It's extraordinarily exciting to be able to define the agenda, to shape the events, to lead the process. But whether it's the public or the private sector, the work is exhilarating, and it simply does not get old to know that what we do fundamentally improves the lives of the American people. And there are still frontiers. Just as it was for the Wright brothers, you'll have your own stretches of stand where you can stretch your imagination, stretch your abilities, and stretch the limits of what you achieve in aviation and aerospace. The aviation world expects that from the graduates of this university. We don't expect you to do it alone. You will have mentors and guideposts along the way. None of us got to where we are without standing on the shoulders of someone else. And none of us will get to where we need to go without bending down to lift someone who comes after us. But as a graduation speaker, our responsibility is to offer you just a little bit of advice. Just a little bit of advice. First of all, I know you're good. I know you're technically competent. But I want to suggest that you be more than good at your chosen work. Be good citizens as well. In other words, don't confuse having a career with having a life. They're not the same. Before he died, Senator Paul Tsongas, a former senator from Massachusetts and a beloved husband and father, said, "Nobody ever said from his deathbed, 'I wish I had spent more time at the office.'" I decided to make this point because, let's face it, I bet you wish you had $1 for every time someone asked you, "Now that you've finished school, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?" And I'd suggest to you that the real question is not what are you going to do with the rest of your life. The real question is how are you going to live that life? Because the fact is, you're about to enter a world where you'll no longer be judged by your grades, but by your character, by the promises you keep and the changes you shape, by the examples you set and the challenges you meet. In short, by what kind of a citizen you are. 30 years ago, when I sat where you're sitting, my parents' generation had just saved our nation from economic collapse and world tyranny. And President Kennedy was challenging my generation to fight for civil rights, to join the Peace Corps, which I did, to explore space, which I would have liked to, and to carry the American dream to every corner of the world. But now it's your turn. Go for it. Take some risks, aim higher, and then aim higher still. At each rung of the ladder, it becomes somewhat more risky, but also more rewarding. As my son likes to say, no pain, no gain. Never turn down a new experience unless it's against the law or it's going to get you into real serious trouble. Robert Frost called it the road less traveled by. Frost was right. Taking the road can make all the difference. And finally, perhaps most important of all, keep your sanity by leading a balanced life. Balance work and family, work and friendship, work and spiritual renewal, and perhaps most important of all, balance work and fun. Have some fun. When I graduated, I didn't know exactly where life would take me, but I promised myself I would never play it safe, and I've kept that promise. As you prepare to leave today, my deepest hope is that you won't play it safe either, that you'll rise to every challenge, that you'll pick yourself up every time you fall, that you'll stand your ground and where necessary, stand conventional wisdom on its head. And so I do congratulate the class of 1998, but in doing so, a word to the parents. A word to the parents. I'm thinking of those days in the mid-70s when most of today's graduates were born. I'm thinking of all that homework you helped them do in the early years, and all that homework you couldn't help them do in the later years. I'm thinking about all those love affairs, real and imagined, that you had to endure, all those sleepless nights in high school. But you've done it, and I congratulate you, but I don't think it's over yet. And to the graduates, I wish you the best of everything, that every dream you carry inside you today comes true. I wish you good health, great friendship, and love, and I wish you uncomfortable but exciting lives with balance, with promise, and with many visits back to this wonderful campus. Congratulations, Godspeed, and thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Garvey, for your kind words of advice for our graduates. I would like to ask Mr. Ed Stimson, a member of our Embry-Riddle's Board of Trustees, to join us at the podium for a special presentation. The bestowing of an honorary degree by a university entails a very deliberate decision-making process through which individuals are identified who exhibit leadership, impart knowledge, support the university, and serve as role models for their peers as well as for the future generations. We will honor two such individuals today. We wish to honor Jane Garvey for her commitment to and significant efforts toward achieving aviation safety. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University proudly confers on you, Jane F. Garvey, the degree of Doctor of Aviation Business Administration, honoris causa, with all of the rights.
Ms. Garvey, last month, was just recognized by the Aeronautical Society of the UK with one of their highest awards. Today, Embry-Riddle is proud to confer on her the degree of Doctor of Aviation, Business Administration, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Congratulations, Dr. Garvey.
We are also fortunate to have with us an individual who has been a dedicated leader in the aviation industry for over 25 years. We wish to formally recognize Yang Ho Cho, President and Chief Executive Officer of Korean Airlines and Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Hanjin Group. Mr. Cho's commitment to and support of aviation education is demonstrated by his service to the boards of trustees of Hancock Aviation University, the University of Southern California, and Inha University. Mr. Cho, will you join us at the podium, please?
Dr. Cho, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University is proud to confer on you, Yang Ho Cho, the degree of Doctor of Aviation Business Administration, honoris causa, with all of the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Dr. Cho. Congratulations.
Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University recognizes individuals who have made a significant, notable contribution to the field of aviation by presenting them with one of our highest honors, the Eagle of Aviation Award. At this time, we would like to acknowledge an individual who has contributed to the enhancement of global leadership in the aviation and aerospace industry. Mr. McKean, will you please join me at the podium? In reviewing Larry's distinguished and extensive career with the Boeing Company, it should be noted that he has contributed to all of the criteria areas for the Eagle of Aviation Award. Early in his career, he was involved with the Minuteman ICBM program and then moved on to the 707, 727, and 737 division, where he was appointed Director of Personnel. Larry advanced through a series of labor relations positions with the Boeing Company and was responsible for the coordination and negotiations with the engineering and technical labor unions corporate-wide in both the United States and Canada. In 1994, he was elected Senior Vice President of Human Resources, and at that time was responsible for over 118,000 employees. The decade of the 90s has seen frequent and dynamic organizational changes in the aviation and aerospace industry. Larry McKean has been a leader in shepherding these changes. Throughout these corporate acquisitions and realignments, Larry has been a dedicated, loyal participant with the Business Administration's Department's Industry Advisory Committee for nearly 6 years. He was instrumental in assisting the university with our campus expansion and building program through his significant support from the Boeing Company's foundation. This award today pays tribute to his commitment to professional excellence, which has distinguished Mr. McKean as an innovator and a leader. We at Embry-Riddle proudly present you, Larry McKean, with the Eagle of Aviation Award.
It is my pleasure to recognize several distinguished groups of students. First, Embry-Riddle is fortunate to have several Armed Forces commissioning programs active on the Daytona Beach campus. The Air Force ROTC detachment has the largest elective enrollment of any civilian institution in the country. while the Army ROTC detachment is one of the top 5 programs in the nation as well. Some of our students also joined the Navy and the Marine Corps through off-campus programs. We are extremely proud of our graduates who have become the newest first and second lieutenants in our nation's armed forces. Will the new lieutenants please stand at this time and be recognized? Please be seated. Continuing our recognition of special achievements, we wish to present the graduates who are completing their degrees with honors. They will be recognized individually when their names are announced as they cross the stage to receive their diplomas. As a group, graduates wearing white cords have achieved grade point averages of between 3.5 and 3.69 and are graduating cum laude with honors. Will these students please stand and be recognized? Please be seated. Graduates wearing red cords have achieved grade point averages of between 3.7 and 3.89 and are graduating magna cum laude with great honors. Will these students please stand and be recognized? Please be seated. Graduates wearing gold cords have earned a grade point average of between 3.90 and 4.0 and are graduating summa cum laude with highest honors. Will these students please stand and be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Jeffrey Ledowitz, Vice President of Student Life, for a special presentation.
Each commencement, an outstanding graduating senior is selected to receive the President's Award. Candidates for this award of distinction are selected on the basis of academic excellence, campus activities, and contributions to the university and to the local community. These students are leaders who challenge others around them to think, to question, and to act, and are recommended by representatives of the faculty, the staff, and the student body. Nomination for this honor reflects campus-wide recognition of outstanding accomplishments. Settling on a list of finalists was difficult, and selecting a recipient means to deny some of our finest students the recognition they too should receive. At the very least, we would like to have the finalists stand to be presented to you. They represent the very best we have at Embry-Riddle. They are Marco N. Bandiera. Please stand. Brian N. Tompkins. And Shannon R. Warner. Please be seated. Now, President Sliwa will join me at the podium to announce this year's recipient of the President's Award.
Please. I'm very pleased to announce today the senior who is receiving the President's Award, Marco Bandiera. Will you please come forward? Marco M. Bandiera is graduating today with a Bachelor of Science degree in Aeronautical Science, summa cum laude, and a cumulative GPA of 3.9. Marco has been an active participant and distinguished student leader throughout his Embry-Riddle experience. He has been on the Dean's List each semester since he first enrolled in the university. His honors, recognition, and awards are numerous. He was treasurer of the Glider Club, a member of the Embry-Riddle flight team since 1996, and captain of the intramural soccer team. He also played intramural volleyball and was an active volunteer with the Daytona Beach Extended Family Organization. Marco has worked as a teacher assistant for the Computer Science Department's CS 109 course, was a computer lab assistant, and served as a meteorology lab assistant. He has also been a 727 cockpit procedure trainer instructor. He was a co-op student during the fall 1997 semester with TWA in New York, where he worked as a meteorology assistant. While at TWA, Marco successfully completed the Boeing 757 and 767 ground school courses, earning the highest in class honor with 98%. Marco is planning to pursue a master's degree in Embry-Riddle Aviation Safeties program. Marco Bandiera exemplifies a well-rounded, exceptional Embry-Riddle student and leader, and I am pleased to recognize his many achievements by presenting him this award. Receiving the award for your outstanding scholarship and leadership. Best wishes for continued success in your career, and we'll see you in the fall.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you the president of the senior class, Chris Norton.
Well, by popular demand, I'm going to keep this brief. Well, we finally did it. Look around you. All these family, friends, guests, faculty, and staff are all here because of you. Many 4 years ago, during orientation, a faculty member said, look to your left and to your right. And in 4 years, some of these people will not be with you. I'm sad to say that many of my friends are not here today. But now I want you to look to your left and to your right and see that those people sitting beside you have succeeded. Sitting next to you are the future airline captains, computer programmers, engineers, technicians, and future CEOs. You truly have succeeded. Finally, I would like to offer a couple thanks. First, I'd like to thank those who have and will have served in our America's Armed Forces. Because of you, our country is free. I'd also like to thank my mom. For her inspiration, she told me I could do anything I wanted to as long as I worked hard enough for it. I'd also like to thank my dad. He took me out to the airport to watch airplanes land. And last, I'd like to thank all of you, the senior graduating class of 1998. You have made this the best 4 years ever. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Each spring, the faculty recognize one of their peers as outstanding teacher. Professor Elliot Jacobs, the recipient of last year's Outstanding Teacher Award, will introduce this year's recipient. Professor Jacobs.
The Outstanding Teaching Award is presented annually at this commencement to recognize the faculty member who has achieved excellence in the classroom throughout the current academic year. A committee of student, faculty, and staff representatives is appointed with the assigned challenge to interview, evaluate, and select the best nominee. Nomination for this prestigious award is an honor in itself. The three finalists announced at the faculty assembly earlier this month are Dr. Bruce Chadbourne, Business Administration, Dr. Marvin Smith, Aeronautical Science, Dr. John Watrip, Mathematics, will the recipient of this year's Outstanding Teaching Award please join me at the podium? Dr. John Watrip. Professor John Watrip has been a faculty member of the mathematics department since 1989. He has earned the bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees in mathematics and has taught all levels of mathematics in support of our many degree programs. He is an intelligent, creative, diligent, and enthusiastic member of the faculty who strives for currency in his field and demands the highest standards from his students. His teaching philosophy and classroom style both stimulate and involve each and every student. John has been an active member of several campus and department committees and was selected by the Faculty Senate as the recipient of the 1997 Outstanding Service Award. He's on the organizing committee for the Integrated Curriculum and Engineering, ICE program, and has served as associate and acting department chair. In addition, he has been an active and contributing member on many other departmental and university committees. He is a dedicated teacher of the Student Success courses, a member of the advisory committee for the Student Success program, and has been selected as the Student Government Association's Outstanding Advisor Award for 1998. He holds a private pilot's rating and serves in an active leadership role as faculty advisor to several student organizations. Congratulations, John, on this well-deserved honor.
I am pleased now to introduce Andres Zellweger, Dean of Graduate Programs and Research, to present the candidates for the master's degrees.
Eli Rosofsky, with distinction, Andrews Air Force Base, Maryland. Michael Manuel Kern, Jacksonville Center, Florida. Martha Collins Leeds, Andrews Air Force Base, Maryland. Margaret A. McIsaac. David Anthony Massey, with distinction, Indianapolis Center, Indiana. Mayor M. Biziad, Patrick Air Force Base, Florida. Victor T. Simper. Allison C. Smalling. Candidate for the degree of Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering, Marianne Monique Francois, with distinction. Candidate for the degree of Master of Aerospace Engineering, Francisco de Paula Moreno Marin. Candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration in Aviation, Jevinshire Backrumo. Anthony Luther Boyd. Shah Pur Kavandi, Who's Who, 97 and 98. Asfa Mamu Kilbrett, with distinction, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Marilyn King Nicholas, with distinction, Fort Rucker, Alabama. Freddie Warren Nicholas, Jr., Fort Rucker, Alabama. Ricky Cleo Simmons, with distinction, Moffatfield, California. Daniel Spring. Roger D. Temples. Jeffrey Stewart Walgren. Candidate for the degree of Master of Software Engineering, Richard Dale Bard, Jr. This concludes the candidates for master's degree.
Mr. President, at this time, the faculty of the Daytona Beach campus is pleased to present the candidates for undergraduate degrees. The department chairs for each of the degree programs will present the diplomas.
Professor Michael Wiggins will present the candidates from the Aeronautical Science Department. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aeronautical Science: Abdul Nasser Matoug Alaboud, Graham Gerard Aschenbrenner, cum laude, Senior Class Counsel. Marco M. Mandera, summa cum laude. Andrea Michaela Bartoli, Omicron Delta Kappa, who's who among students, 97. Brett Farrell Berkowitz, Gregory David Beasy, Scott Brian Bissonette, Omicron Delta Kappa, Order of Omega. Stephen Craig Blasevich, David Lee Bly, Chadwick James Bohannon, Mariano Carlos Bonacorso, magna cum laude. Mark Christopher Bonish, cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa. Kevin Joseph Bosley, Basim Ahmed Boubashat, Shane Lawrence Bauer, Alexander Bruce, Joshua William Brown, magna cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa. Christopher Edward Burns, Jeffrey Michael Burns, William Eric Cannon, Angela Dawn Carpenter, cum laude. Thomas Justin Servini, Senior Class Counsel. Chad R. Sharenza, Sherry Ann Christensen, magna cum laude. Michael Richard Clark, for Nicholas Henrik Clevenhue, John P. Coelho, who's who, 96, 97, and 98, Senior Class Counsel, Omicron Delta Kappa, Society for Collegiate Journalists. Deborah Ann Compton, magna cum laude. Patrick Degany, Amber Dionelle DeVoe, Christopher Robert Davidson, James Peter Drago, Second Lieutenant Todd Russell Dyer, Christopher Lee Egmeyer, Michael Robert Epps, who's who, 97, 98. Aaron Lee Unson, cum laude. Anthony David Einen, Lee Paul Faulkner, Corey Kenneth Fields, Stephen Patrick Fitzpatrick, magna cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa, who's who, 96, 97. Norman Albert Flinch, Paul Eric Frederick, Susan Jeanette Garcia, Mark A. Gadari, Shai Gil Gilad, summa cum laude, 97 and 98, Omicron Delta Kappa. Hugo David Gonzalez. Second Lieutenant David Ray Graham. Charles Francis Green. Tracy Lauren Griffith, cum laude. Matthias Carl Gustafson, magna cum laude. Stephen Ward Hancock, senior class counsel. Philip Andrew Heinrich. Elaine Hepburn. John Charles Horton, Jr., senior class counsel secretary. Hugh Ha, cum laude. Christine Ann James Villanueva, Omicron Delta Kappa, who's who, 97, 98. Marcos Jato. Robin Elaine Johnston, senior class counsel. Arkadush Charmiswa Kashesh. Scott David Kirk. Patrick Henry E. Lang. Dionysos Lambo. Chad Jonathan LaPointe. Jiho Lee. Suk Young Lee. Wanjun Lee. Paul Daniel Leonardi. Jason Sumner Lowry. Clint Joseph Loomis. Jason Thomas Maciunas. Christopher Joseph McCasey. Earl C. McCumber. Luella Manjone. Mark Wilson McClung. Brian Charles Messer, magna cum laude, senior class counsel, Omicron Delta Kappa, who's who, 97, 98. Herbie Meza. Second Lieutenant Roman Timothy Miazga. Christian D. Milazzo. Colleen Elizabeth Mitchard, cum laude, who's who, 97, 98. Omar Salah Naguib. Hobart Timothy Napier. Chris Norton, cum laude, senior class counsel, president, Omicron Delta Kappa. Brian David Oder. Andrew Olarte. Melvin Francisco Paniagua. John Edward Pearl. Aaron K. Peterson. Michael Anthony Pierce. Paul Anthony Ramirez, magna cum laude. Arnaldo Rivera, cum laude. Nathan E. Robbins, magna cum laude, who's who, 97, 98. Raval J. Rogalski. Andre Holger Scheller. Gabriel Brian Chappelle. Stephen Anthony Shoda, Jr. David Lee Sill. Raleigh Smoko, who's who, 96-97. Ronald William Stocky, cum laude. Conrad Miguel Thorpe, cum laude. Ivan Yubomir Tomic. Randall Edward Vargas. Shannon Renee Warner, cum laude. Edward Allen Weingart. Isaac Christopher White, Senior Class Counsel. Magdalena Christina Wilk. Joshua Allen Wilson. Jamie Todd Young. Lawrence Mitchell Young. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Professional Aeronautics. Second Lieutenant Robert Edward Bugner. Second Lieutenant Matthew Frederick Coleman, cum laude. Ryan Edward Roberts. Second Lieutenant Mark A. Warner. Chad McRae Williams. Professor Alan Hornsby will present the candidates from the Engineering Department. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. Salman Ali Al-Banali. Lester Alfonso. Hamza Abdulkader Al-Sawi. Derek Andrew Babcock. Timothy Bruce Beck, cum laude, Senior Class Counsel. Pamela Jean Berg, Omicron Delta Kappa. Second Lieutenant Benjamin Michael Grant, Sigma Gamma Tau, Order of Omega. Darren John Brewster, summa cum laude, Senior Class Counsel, Sigma Gamma Tau, who's who, 97-98. Stephen Leroy Ricker. Karen Ann Buck. Daryl Joseph Buckby. Kenny Kinsoon Chang. J. Livingston Curtis IV, Esquire, cum laude, Sigma Gamma Tau. Michael Thomas DiRamondo. Robert Stephen Doran, Sigma Gamma Tau. Rory Allen Duncan, Jr. Richard Miller Fillmore, Jr. John Christopher Francolini. Kurt Ryan Fuller. Christopher Robert Gitter. Second Lieutenant Troy David Hammond. Jungui Ho, magna cum laude, Sigma Gamma Tau. Keith Robert Huber. Christopher Weller Jacobs. Ralph Jan Jokelka, Sigma Gamma Tau. James Vincent Klein, Senior Class Counsel. Patrick Decorian, Senior Class Counsel, Society for Collegiate Journalists, Sigma Tau Delta. Carl J. Lauderdale IV. Vasilius Lelos, magna cum laude, Sigma Gamma Tau. Keith D. Martin, Stephen E. Mindrachowski, Sigma Tau Delta. Andrew C. Nizborski, cum laude. Rodney Joseph Olson, cum laude. Stacy Rochelle Pierce. Wayne Anthony Piggott, Sigma Gamma Tau. Frederick George Prendergast, Jr., Senior Class Counsel, Sigma Gamma Tau, Who's Who, 97, 98. Matthew Aldred Ryan. Dean Corbin Schimpf. Jennifer Lynn Scott. Brian Stephen Walling. Justin Alden Williams, Senior Class Counsel. The civil engineering degree was initiated at Embry-Riddle in 1994. The university is pleased to award degrees to the first students completing this program. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering: Chad Jeffrey Piper. Barron Jade Brown. Jamie Thomas Campbell. Darren Alex Lockwood, Who's Who, 97, 98. Second Lieutenant Hayes Weston Nash, Who's Who, 96, 97, 98. Brian Michael Tompkins, magna cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa. Professor Robert Oxley will present the candidates from the Aerospace Studies program. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Studies: Dawn Anderson Elkins, Senior Class Counsel, Treasurer. Paul Christopher Askew. Victoria Ocasio Rito. William Brian Cody. Scott M. Didymo. Sean Michael Fitzgerald. Tommy Eric Hall. Rexford Thomas Hevelin. Jason Wayne Hendricks. Yoon Jeong. Lawrence Harris Johnson IV. Susan J. Cartman, Who's Who, 96, 97. Daniel Michael Leskuski. Second Lieutenant Joseph Francis Mondello Jr., Omicron Delta Kappa, Who's Who, 97, 98. David Quiones. Dane A. Riddell. Lance Eric Sorensen, magna cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa, Who's Who, 96, 97. Jermaine Washington. Professor Abe Haraf will present the candidates from the Business Administration Department. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Business Administration: Ashfaq Mumtaz Ahmed, Omicron Delta Kappa, Who's Who, 97, 98. Jurgen Rudolph Binshop, Delta Mu Delta. Mark C. Blanchard, Omicron Delta Kappa, Who's Who, 97, 98. Second Lieutenant Christopher Scott Engelman. Wendy Ann Fitzgerald. Gabriel Emian Frias. Heather Joanne Gogger, Senior Class Council, Phi Beta Lambda, Delta Mu Delta, Who's Who 9697. Matthew Gillis Gosselin. Angela Marie Graham, Senior Class Council, Omicron Delta Kappa, Phi Beta Lambda. Edward C. Girola. William Robert Hampton, Delta Nu Delta, Phi Beta Lambda. Zulika L. Jindor. Mary Ann Morris, Omicron Delta Kappa. Mark Robert Rademacher. Denise S. Shiraj. Melissa Sue Turlington. Second Lieutenant Garrity Vanessa Wood. Candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Management. Israel Revivo, Phi Beta Lambda. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Maintenance Management. Ayesh Saleh Arashidi. Andrew Griffiths Dempsiak. Renee A. Gonzalez. Salah Ahmad Hamada. Greg Andrew Middleton. Nicolaus George Papilopoulos. Arturo Ignacio Rodriguez. Michael Carl Sieberer. Sultan Abdullah Youssef. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Management of Technical Operations. Gregory Wayne Clark, Omicron Delta Kappa. Martin Honoré Luis Dubort. Damon Allen Halverson. Inocentia Lelebo Gabagné. Stephen R. McCowan. Second Lieutenant Francis Joseph Scolero. Professor Iraq Hermanpour will present the candidates from the Computer Science Department. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Computer Science. Michael Sean Becker, magna cum laude, Upsilon Pi Epsilon. Lisa Marie Burns, Senior Class Council. Nathaniel Thomas Burke, magna cum laude, Senior Class Council, Upsilon Pi Epsilon. John Robert Condon. Second Lieutenant Darrell Bradbury Kubalainen. Second Lieutenant William Bob Palmatier. Kelly Lynn Shirey, Senior Class Council, Who's Who 9798, Omicron Delta Kappa, Upsilon Pi Epsilon. Ibrahim Mohammed Rahib Tawakol. Jeffrey M. Wolf, Who's Who 9798. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Kenneth Burton Connick. Vernon Yvonne Franklin. Jonathan Elliott Cole, summa cum laude. Pat Mukadakrakorn. Melissa Irene Reitner. Professor Peter Piermont will present the candidates from the Technology Department. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aircraft Engineering Technology. Hani Mohammed Ahmed. Rafi Agap Alexanian. Rami Babu. David Paul Brick, Jr. Michelle Lynn DeVoe, Senior Class Counsel. Christopher Lee Downs, Senior Class Counsel. Eric Lee Goss. Amir Ahmed Hussein. Ansel Sherwin James, Tau Alpha Phi, Luzu 9798. John Eric McCasey. Ala Hamdi Ashman. Yoon Sion Park, cum laude, Tau Alpha Phi. Vijay R. Patel, magna cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa, Tau Alpha Phi, Luzu 9798. Second Lieutenant Robert Wayne Riley, Jr. Christopher Michael Shams, Senior Class Counsel. J. Robert Spohn, Tau Alpha Phi. Richard Zinn, Tau Alpha Phi. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Technology. Sung Hoon An. Hussein Saif Bakhtari, Avionics Engineering and Technology Honor Society. Jason Nash Cameron, cum laude, Avionics Engineering and Technology Honor Society. David Gray Curry. Christopher Ayers Frick. Ricardo Omar Galarza. Joseph Burton Hardy III. Chad David LaRue. Mark Andrew Lusher, cum laude, Senior Class Counsel, Avionics Engineering and Technology Honor Society. Carrie Louise Monahan. Joseph Mario Nazareth, magna cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa, Who's Who 9697, Avionics Engineering and Technology Honor Society. Shane Edwin Reynolds, magna cum laude, Who's Who 9596. Andrew James Simmons. Second Lieutenant Thomas Anthony Stayer. Jeffrey Frederick Sturgis, magna cum laude. Jonathan Ivan Taylor. David Ernesto Torres. Michael Francis Turner. John Douglas Wassman. Christopher Andrew Wright. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Avionics Engineering Technology. Thierno Lamin Ba. Michael Kulabika Bakwasewa. Federico Cardenas. Christopher Andrew Cox. Daniel Scott Duquette. Imad Eldin Samir Kamis, cum laude. Troy Anthony Niles. Jerome O. Price. Jason Larimore Trippett. Hani Hakeem Zaglul. Candidate for the degree of Associate in Science in Aircraft Maintenance, Imad Solomon Al-Maghamsi. Candidates for the degree of Associate in Science in Aviation Maintenance Technology, Nathan Scott Carlson. George C. Meyer. Alejandro Prim. Neil David Ramphal. Lisette Rodriguez. Luis Alberto Sanchez, Jr. Eric A. Werhan. Professor John Olivero will present the candidates from the Engineering Physics program. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering Physics, Amy M. Burns, Senior Class Counselor. Rebecca Lynn Hare, Senior Class Counsel, Vice President, Omicron Delta Kappa, Who's Who 9798. Second Lieutenant, George B. Lush. Carl Matthew Mary, cum laude. Stephen Carl Palika. Raphael Roman, Senior Class Counsel. Ryan Matthew Rubb, summa cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa, Who's Who 9798. Second Lieutenant, Janice Michelle Williams, cum laude, Omicron Delta Kappa. This concludes the candidates for undergraduate degrees from the Daytona Beach campus.
Mr. President, I am pleased now to introduce Leon Flancher, Associate Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of the Extended Campus, to present the Extended Campus candidates for undergraduate degrees. Dr. Flancher.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Extended Campus oversees residence centers and distance learning students in the United States and throughout the world. We're pleased to have a number of our students and faculty here today to participate with the Daytona Beach campus in their commencement ceremony. A number of our students were among the master's candidates who received their hoods and diplomas earlier in the ceremony. Mr. President, the faculty of the Extended Campus is pleased to present the candidates for undergraduate degrees. Assisting in recognizing these graduates will be Dr. Bill Getter, the Dean of Academics for the College of Career Education.
Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Professional Aeronautics, Mohammed Mustafa Al-Hano, Center for Distance Learning. Gary Allen Bartlett, magna cum laude, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. Carlos Fabian Bonilla, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Edward J. Carden, cum laude, Jacksonville Center, Florida. Kevin Frederick George, Moody Air Force Base, Georgia. Jason R. Johnson, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Malcolm Glenn Knox, Indianapolis Center, Indiana. Jeremy Daniel McIntyre, Center for Distance Learning. James Leslie McNeese, Center for Distance Learning. David Aquila Minot, cum laude, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Terry Lee Neff, Little Rock, Arkansas. Jeffrey Joe Howe, Patrick Air Force Base, Florida. Darshanan Rajkumar, cum laude, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Terrence Michael Ryan, Center for Distance Learning. Randall P. Reinders, Center for Distance Learning. Bruce Saber, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Ronald Sturkenberg, Jacksonville Center, Florida. Mark J. Vincent, Andrews Air Force Base, Maryland. Darnell Dezon Williams, Indianapolis Center, Indiana. Mylan Scott Wiley, Patrick Air Force Base, Florida. Candidate for the degree of Associate in Science in Professional Aeronautics. Jillian Alana Carter Guy, Jacksonville Center, Florida. Candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Business Administration. Nicholas Alexander Snyder, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Management of Technical Operations. Ronald Lee Betts, Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. John Martin Blair, Patrick Air Force Base, Florida. Tony Mui Chiong, cum laude, Miami Center, Florida. Jeffrey Scott McGilvery, magna cum laude, McNeil Air Force Base, Florida. Jacqueline Christiana Moore, Patrick Air Force Base, Florida. Natasha Gracie Strong, Miami Center, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trustees in conferring the degrees. Mr. Stead, will you join me at the podium? Will all of the candidates for the degrees please rise? Mr. Stead, upon the recommendation of the faculty of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, it is my honor to present you the candidates for graduation.
Well, it's time. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you as appropriate the associate degree, the associate in science degree, the bachelor's degree, the Bachelor of Science degree, the master's degree, and the Master's of Science degree, with all of the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Congratulations, graduates. You may now move your tassels from the right to the left.
Please be seated. I'd like to thank Mrs. Valerie Cruz, our Director of Registration for the Daytona Beach campus, for assisting us with the diplomas. I'd also like to recognize the Melbourne Municipal Band under the direction of Claire Christie, who are providing the music for us today. The interest, dedication, and support of three groups of people play a very important part in the success of our university. The first, our Board of Trustees, Board of Visitors, and officers of the university. Will you please stand so that we may recognize you? Thank you. The individuals who played a major role in preparing our graduates for their future careers are the faculty and staff. Will the faculty and staff please stand to be recognized? Thank you. The most honored guests here today are the families of our graduates. Their love and support have made this day possible. Will all you please stand?
Knowles are going to take it all next year.
Would you like to go into the game?